Discussions with a Creationist Part 6. Other Tidbits. This is the last video of the series. I put together here all the little tidbits that don't fit with the other videos. Various short topics that don't go with the rest. Part 1. Evolution is a religion.
Creation is a religion. I cannot offer scientific evidence that God created everything because creating time, space, and matter goes outside the realm of science because science can only deal with our little three-dimensional world. However, evolutionists refuse to admit they also have a religion. It takes extraordinary faith to believe that birds and bananas are related by common ancestry, as taught by Darwin and many colleges today. I admire that faith. I'm just too skeptical to be an evolutionist because I don't have enough faith to believe such a thing. Do you believe evolution is part of science? In the US, we're all paying taxes for that to be taught. And if you think it's science, I'd certainly like to see your evidence for it. From the few comments you left that I got to read, you seem to claim to know a lot, so I'd like to hear your evidence.
You say you have faith. I have evidence. The quantity of evidence for evolution is vast. Here's a good start.
I don't have the time for religious speculations from evolutionists. Where's the scientific evidence?
Part 2. The incredible Hovind offer.
If you really believe that you have scientific evidence for evolution, then put your money where your mouth is. The Creationist, in that very debate, has offered $250,000 for evidence for evolution. If you don't like it, then sue him. Take CSC and their ministry to court. Demonstrate it and become rich. But you and I both know you won't do it. And you and I both know why. Where's the scientific evidence for evolution?
The $250,000 price is tempting, but I've read the description. He's also mixing up evolution with Big Bang and abiogenesis. So this contest is a complete fallacy. I can also have a contest like this.
Here's the Emmanuel $1 million challenge. I have a standard offer for $1 million to anyone who can give any empirical evidence that my father is really my father. Small prints. You have to provide evidence that my father was heterosexual and that he loved my mother. You also have to prove that my grandfather had sex with my grandmother, and so on, until Adam and Eve.
Moreover, this contest has already been cancelled and turned into an urban legend. Why was this removed? I don't know, but he probably was sued by someone. Part 3. How old is it?
Nothing is 10,000 years old. Nothing is 1 million years old. You're taking all that on pure faith.
So you admit that if the world was old, then evolution would be possible. This is good progress. I congratulate you. The world is much older than you say, and you know it. If it wasn't that old, say about 6,000 years old, then nothing would make sense, including mineralized fossils, light coming from faraway stars, trees with more than 9,000 rings. Question: look at this picture and then tell me, how long does it take for two galaxies to collide? Part 4. It's worth studying. I also think that it's worth investigating. If we suppose that God did it, then we would not invest the time to investigate this.
Wow. If you admit that God made the world, you wouldn't continue scientific inquiry about how he did it. That's really sad and lazy, but I'm glad you at least admitted it to me honestly. That makes me realize that evolutionists are not studying to learn and advance science knowledge, but rather desperately trying to find evidence for their theory so they can continue their wicked lifestyles. It makes sense to me now, and I appreciate your honesty.
Supposing that God did it, then yes, I would just give up on researching. In your own words, God is beyond mankind's comprehension. So there you go, checkmate.
Saying checkmate does not discount God. You can pull that on your atheist buddies, but that's not gonna work on me. God doesn't believe in atheists, and neither do I. At the best, you can say you don't know.
About abiogenesis, you are wasting your time on this. I already agreed that we don't know exactly what happened. There are several different hypotheses and very little evidence. If we don't know, we can't jump to conclusions and say that the Christian invisible sky daddy did it without researching it any further. Checkmate means I use your own idea that God is beyond mankind's comprehension to show you how your other idea, researching how God created the world, is wrong. Once an explanation exists for something, people stop researching it. Copernicus's science was questioned by closed-minded fundamentalists who had a biblical explanation for the trajectories of astral bodies. Don't give me this. Even if we know God did it, we'll still research how he did it. You know that's not what would happen. Part 5. A good, bad question. At one point I asked him this question. Did evolution happen all by itself, or did God create it? This was an example of a fallacious question. He answered,
You can say God created it if you want. However, first of all, that's not the God of the Bible. Second, that is a retarded God that doesn't know what he wants. And that's a God that doesn't care about all of his creation.
Whatever God implied by evolutionary theory may be like he is not the Protestant God of waste not, want not. He is also not a loving God who cares about his productions. The God of the Galapagos Islands is careless, wasteful, indifferent, almost diabolical. He is certainly not the sort of God to whom anyone would be inclined to pray. David L. Hall.
one last thing. Question. What would constitute conclusive evidence of evolution according to you? Not abiogenesis or the Big Bang. In conclusion, I guess Christopher had enough of me because he didn't answer any of these questions.